Hi, it's Ian, and welcome back to my 30 Days of Taiko Skills. Today is day 23, and I'm talking about singing subdivisions. So, what is a subdivision? A division, I think, would be taking a measure, probably a bar, and if we're playing in four, that measure is divided into 4 beats or 4 pulses. And each of those pulses can be subdivided into usually threes, twos, threes, fours are the typical ones. So, depending on the style of music, maybe it's an eighth note kind of feeling like dun dun jan dun 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 jan dun, that kind of feeling, or maybe it's a triplet, duk dak duk dak, that kind of feeling, or maybe it's more of a 16th note feeling. Okay? That's basically what we're talking about with singing subdivisions, and it's a very, very useful tool to help us place the notes we're playing by singing the subdivision and eventually internalizing that singing so that you don't need to rely on vocalizing it all the time. But vocalizing is a great practice aid. I still even vocalize in performance sometimes if it's necessary. If I feel like that's going to be helpful in having me place the notes properly, then oftentimes I'll be subdividing in maybe audibly to myself, but not to the audience. Doesn't really matter to me if the audience can hear me though, because I'm not that concerned about having people hear that. So anyway, it's one of those things that I use all the time, and I think it's quite useful in the Taiko world as well. So just singing, very simply, singing subdivisions will help get the proper feel and consistency, and especially note placement for syncopated rhythms. So let's take a rhythm like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So it's even though I'm playing in 4, those hits don't exactly sound like they're in 4 on first listen, especially if you didn't have a beat reference like my foot giving that to you. So perfect example here. If we sing the subdivision, and it can be any syllable, if we divide up all of those beats and sing 4s on each quarter note pulse, then it'll boost our ability to play those syncopated rhythms more accurately. So if I take it slower, it would be cha 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 cha, or da 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 da. You could say something like chicka chicka, like a shaker kind of sound. Chicka 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 chicka. You could say teke 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 teke, like a shimedaiko kuchishoga syllable. Doesn't really matter as long as you're singing something that is easy to repeat over and over, and it's nice and sharp and crisp so that you can hear where it is. Maybe not if you say something like la 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 la, maybe not the best one for subdividing because it's not crisp, it's not clean, it's a little bit hard to tell where you're supposed to put those hits on top of that. So here, just as a demonstration of what I might practice, I have the drum machine app ready at 65 BPM on a 16th note groove, and perhaps I'll play that. I'll hit play on that. I'll sing the subdivision, like the hi-hat part or something, and try playing that rhythm over and over and see if I can lock that in. Okay, maybe just for practice, I may put it on the left hand. Maybe I will try different sticking combinations, maybe doubles. Maybe I'll try changing the surface so that I'll be hitting the rim sometimes. Maybe I'll omit some of those notes, or maybe air drum some of those notes. Yeah, maybe I'll just play around with it to see if there's any spots that make me feel a little bit uncertain, and then I might go back and just strengthen those a little bit just on its own. So I will try some different variations, same rhythm, but maybe change the sticking, change the surface, and so on. So wasn't bad in the beginning. As soon as I started to think about what kind of sticking patterns can I do, how can I make it more complex, meaning which ones do I skip and which ones do I play, the more I started thinking about that, I lost some concentration and messed up. So some of those mess ups are what you might call happy little accidents that inspire you to play something off of that. So I was wanting to continue because those mistakes caused, I thought, could be something to build on top of as just an interesting improvisation. So, but I stopped myself just for the sake of this video. I'll go back after and maybe explore that a little bit more. But you can see, hopefully, that using the voice gives me a kind of a foundation or a solid part, almost like a second person giving you a solid beat that you can go off of and then kind of expand what you're playing. And this is a very simple exercise with just one rhythm over and over and over. But you can see, hopefully, if you apply this to actual pieces and patterns that you would play in a piece, the first step would be, can you sing the subdivision, and can you play those rhythms on top of your singing? And if you can't, then you may not have a full understanding of how the subdivision, it's almost like a fabric where right on top of that, you have to insert wherever those holes or the fibers are in the fabric. They have to fit into. It's like almost like a puzzle where it's everything that you're playing is predetermined on a grid, and either your note is right on top of that one part of the grid that you're supposed to play it on, or perhaps it's a little bit off, or perhaps it's way off. That's really what we're trying to do, is we're trying to determine if the notes that you're playing are accurate, and do they fit into the subdivision accurately, or are they sort of there and maybe not quite as accurate as we'd like. So, of course, again, something that I always mention is that recording yourself is a great way to double check to see if you're able to be as accurate as you can on these subdivisions. But singing is another great way to check that out. So anyway, a little bit about singing subdivisions. It's something I use all the time. Hopefully there's something helpful in there for you, and I'll see you on the next one.